It is 1:47 a.m. in the morning. The train station is nearly empty, and nobody notices you standing there. You wait outside the station doors as the cold night air settles in, knowing this might be the last quiet moment before everything changes. In your hands are the only things you own: a backpack, a passport, and a few euros. Behind you is a life that collapsed. Mistakes, bad decisions, maybe even trouble with the law. Ahead of you stands a single gate, a place most people only hear about in rumors: the French Foreign Legion. Inside that gate, the rules are different. Your past stops mattering, and only survival matters. Men arrive from everywhere: Brazil, Poland, Korea, some chasing adventure, others escaping something darker. Some want a new identity, others simply want to disappear. The Legion does not ask many questions, but it watches everything. Every move is judged. You walk toward the gate knowing the decision is final now. There is no turning back. Another recruit waits nearby, silent, carrying his own secrets. Around you, men sit quietly on their bags, already understanding what comes next. The selection process will break many of them. Silence fills the courtyard because every man is thinking the same thing. What happens if I fail? What happens if they reject me? What happens if they don't? You stop at the gate. One step forward changes everything. The old life ends here. You walk through, and the Legion now owns your future. Inside the compound, discipline replaces chaos. A legionnaire takes your passport without greeting or explanation. A simple nod becomes your welcome. You are given a bed, a uniform, and a meal. The Legion provides everything now, and the selection has already begun. The barracks are quiet, filled with rows of identical beds. Every recruit starts the same way. Soon the tests begin, but nobody explains the rules. You simply follow orders. 100 men arrive this week, but most will not stay. Some recruits joke nervously, others remain silent, hiding their fear. Your gear is inspected carefully, because every detail matters here. Boots must be tight, laces perfect, pain expected. Outside the window, soldiers run drills, and soon that will be you every day. The first tests are psychological, logic puzzles, pattern recognition, problems designed to see how your brain reacts under pressure. Nobody tells you your score. Silence means uncertainty. Then come the physical trials. A whistle blows, and the training begins. Wake up time is before sunrise. Sleep becomes a luxury. The running starts immediately. Long distances that never seem to end. Then the obstacle course, rope climbs, strength tests, endurance trials. Later, your brain is tested again with more puzzles and more pressure. Then comes the beep test. The rule is simple: keep running between two lines while the beeps get faster. Back and forth, across the floor as the pressure builds. Your lungs burn, your legs feel heavy, but quitting means elimination. The scoreboard climbs higher while some recruits collapse from exhaustion. The instructors simply watch and take notes. Every test is recorded. Your future depends on it. The beeps get faster. The test grows harder, and only the strongest remain. Your chest burns. Your legs shake. But the test does not stop. Some recruits collapse while the instructors say nothing. You push forward again. One more run. Then another. This is the first real filter. The Legion is closing the gate. Only a few will pass. Then come the interviews. This room is different. A veteran legionnaire sits across the table studying you carefully. He already expects lies. The questions begin slowly about your history and your past. The officer reads your file, examining every detail. Suddenly the tone changes. The questions become aggressive. They want to break your story, to expose the truth or the lie. Silence becomes the real test. Your mind races, because one wrong answer ends everything. The officer challenges your story, suggesting you are lying just to see your reaction. Documents are compared carefully. Accuracy matters. Some recruits panic here and their stories collapse. Their selection ends immediately. You answer calmly, controlling every word. The interview ends suddenly without approval or rejection. You walk out still uncertain, still being judged. After weeks of testing, the decision finally arrives. A file appears on the desk with your name inside. The contract is simple: 5 years. No guarantees. You sign the paper, and with that signature your life changes. Then something unusual happens. The Legion gives you a new identity, a temporary name. For 6 months you live under it while your past officially disappears. The man who stood at the train station no longer exists. Training begins immediately. Formation lines. Perfect discipline. Weeks blending together. Every day looks the same. Run, train, repeat. The outside world disappears. No cameras, no visitors, just soldiers and instructors watching everything. Morning runs become routine with heavy gear and endless distance. Standing still becomes a skill because discipline requires patience. Language training begins as well. Orders are given only in French, and the Legion speaks one language. You memorize the Legion code word by word. Finally, the ultimate challenge arrives. The long march. 60 kilometers across rough terrain. Everyone knows this test decides everything. Day turns into night, and the march continues. Blisters appear. Feet bleed inside boots. But nobody quits. Eventually, the hilltop appears ahead. At the top waits for something important. Exhausted recruits reach the hill where a truck and instructors wait. On the truck sits a wooden box. Inside are white kepis, the symbol of the Legion. The box opens slowly. For decades, this hat has meant one thing. You survive training. One by one, recruits step forward while the kepi is placed on their heads. The oath follows immediately. Loyalty and brotherhood. Now you are a legionnaire, but the work continues. Months pass as training turns into experience. Eventually, deployments begin. Desert patrols become normal as convoys travel across endless terrain under brutal heat. Roads disappear and maps become the only guide. After years of service, promotion comes and a corporal stripe appears on your uniform. Now you lead a small team of soldiers from different countries with different pasts. But the Legion makes them one unit with one mission. Sometimes fear appears in the field, but discipline keeps everyone steady. Your job is simple now. Lead them and bring them home. Years pass faster than expected. Patrols and missions become routine. Another decision appears. Leadership training. Advanced courses push your limits again. This time testing strategy and command. Not everyone finishes. Some soldiers walk away, but you complete the final test and receive sergeant stripes. A larger squad now stands before you. Your job changes from survival to leadership. Long nights of watch duty test your focus, while stress tests every soldier eventually. Strong soldiers endure and continue. Deployments carry you across jungles, where rivers replace roads and the heat never fades. Every step matters in dense terrain where danger hides in silence. 14 years pass. Many recruits left long ago, but you continued. The Legion becomes your homeland. Not a slogan, but reality. Sometimes you stand in your office, watching new recruits march across the courtyard. They look nervous, just like you once did. You remember the backpack, the one-way train ticket, and the empty station platform. That night you almost walked away, but you didn't. You walked through the gate instead, and the Legion changed everything. The soldier standing here now is not the same man who arrived with nothing. Discipline built him. Experience shaped him. Around you stand soldiers from over 100 countries speaking different languages but sharing one Legion. The flag rises above the base while the monument remembers those who fell. Names carved in stone remind every legionnaire what the uniform means. Soldiers salute together under the same flag. And as you look toward the horizon, you realize something simple. The man at the train station is gone. In his place stands a legionnaire.